Hey, what's up guys, it's Andrew back again with another video, and today I'm wondering, what do internet speeds even mean? So to really understand this, it's important to get down to the smallest measurable unit of an internet connection speed, and what better than to start at the bottom with the smallest unit of processable information possible, the bit. So technically known as a binary digit, a bit is either a 1 or a 0 that is then interpreted by the computer's processor. Now in terms of an internet connection, 8 bits makes up what is called 1 byte. Now while this doesn't really matter in terms of raw speed, it will be useful knowing this conversion for calculating our speed later. Okay, so now moving on to perhaps the slowest internet that you can have in the 21st century, kilobits per second. So kilobits per second, otherwise known as all lowercase kbps, is about as slow as it gets when it comes to internet. Now as its name implies, there are 1,000 bits in 1 kilobit. So to put that in better perspective, the average dial-up modem that was used in the 1980s caps out at just around 50 to 56 kilobits per second. So now what this means is that the dial-up modem was able to fetch data from the internet at approximately a rate of 50 to 56,000 bits per second. Now while it may sound somewhat impressive at first, when you consider the average MP3 song file on the internet to be about 4 megabytes, which by the way is equal to 32 million bits, you would be there for a while. Now just like 1,000 bits makes up 1 kilobit, 1,000 kilobits makes up one of the probably more familiar megabits. So not to be confused with megabytes, a megabit is the unit of speed that is normally used to describe the speed of an internet connection. So for example, if you set up a plan with Charter Internet, their base speed as advertised starts at 60 megabits per second. So this means downloading a photo, video, picture, video game, etc. will download at a rate of 60 megabits per second. However, that video games, or pictures, or song's size is measured in megabytes. So the question is then, how does knowing the amount of megabits per second help us in determining the download speed of a file that's X amount of megabytes in size? So this is where conversions come in. So if you convert megabits per second into megabytes per second, you can figure out how long a file will take to download on a given network, and will thus give you a pretty good idea of how fast your internet connection really is. So if you remember previously in this video, I mentioned that 8 bits makes up 1 byte. So using this conversion, we can calculate the number of megabits that are in a megabyte simply by dividing the number of megabits by 8. So if we head back to Charter and divide their speed, which is 60 megabits per second, by 8, you would get a starting speed of 7.5 megabytes per second. So this means that you could download nearly 2 of those 4 megabyte MP3 songs in 1 second. That's pretty fast. Now the internet doesn't stop here though. There are those who get internet that is so fast that it would be ludicrous to measure it in megabits per second, and so instead it's measured in gigabits. Now the good news here is that the same conversion works with gigabits, only this time the output will be how many gigabytes the network is capable of outputting per second. So currently the fastest connection that I've ever heard of is in the city of Minneapolis, Minnesota, offering speeds clocking in at an absolutely ridiculous 10 gigabits per second. Now just to illustrate just how fast this really is, all we need to do is use our little conversion and come to the conclusion that at that speed you could download your favorite movie in less than a second, Ark Survival Evolved in less than 4 seconds, and buffer the entire 10-hour Nyan Cat video in less than 10 seconds. Now while this is the basics of an internet connection speed covered, there is still so much more that I could have said about an internet connection, providers, etc. But that really is the basics of how to calculate the actual speed and download speed of an internet connection, and it'll work for any others out there as well. Well, that's all for this video. If you liked it and you want to see more videos like this, then please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, then I would love to have you subscribed so you don't miss out on new videos like this. But anyway guys, that's about it for today, so until next time, thank you for watching.